Hello and welcome to today's webinar, an introduction to access control and the SECNOR access control range. My name is Mike Lewis and I am Business Development Manager for Norden. So today I aim to introduce you to SECNOR and also CMW, and also cover off what is an access control system and what are the benefits, the technology and the major components that would go into a system, and more so, what is the SECNOR product range. So first of all, who is SECNOR? SECNOR is a Norden brand. Norden is a global brand known for connectivity and security solutions innovation, and we have been in the United Kingdom, just outside London, since 1998. The main markets serviced by Norden are the Middle East, Africa and Asia. However, our current focus is very much on the UK and Europe. Our dedicated quality assurance team operates in accordance with certified standards by ISO, and we have various standards and compliance certificates for various different regions and product ranges. And we have also won various awards throughout regions. The SECNOR IP CCTV range and also the NVS public address systems complement the SECNOR access control range, all available from. So CMW since 2003 have been supplying into the network data and telecoms industry. They have a comprehensive range of infrastructure, networking, security solutions, in addition to the obvious cable management products. They offer a full range of technical support and also next day delivery throughout the UK mainland free of charge over £100. Additionally, they also ship all over Europe and worldwide. There is no minimum order values, and SECNOR is available through CMW on an exclusive basis, in addition to the SECNOR IP CCTV range. The person to speak to is Emma Harris. She is CMW's Access and Security Specialist, and she's also joining me on this webinar. So if you have any questions, please put your questions in the text chat box and they will be answered straight away. So let's get straight into it and let's ask, what is an access control system? So in its most basic state, an access control system is an electronic system that basically keeps the bad guys out and the good guys in. In its most basic state, it's a door with a lock and a reader and an exit button. It's as simple as that. So the benefits of access control: we can give designated people with permission, access to our building 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, using this electronic security system, irrelevant of whether the building is open for business or closed. It allows us to protect everything inside: assets, stock, intellectual property, staff, and obviously revenue. There's no requirement for anybody to be on site, so no security guards, no receptionists, just the system. It also gives us the ability to generate management reports to see who came, went, what time they left, all those kind of things. And in addition to that, we can even use the system for time and attendance and health and safety and maybe even training. So fundamentally, there's two different types of access control. There's a standalone system, which could easily be one door, or it could easily be a few single doors, but basically unconnected. As soon as we start connecting them, we start talking about a networked or PC-based control system. And the beauty here is it's simply just a number of doors that all are running on the same system. Equally, it could be a number of doors, all connected, talking to a number of doors from a different site, in a different county, in a different country, doesn't matter. So, a standalone access control door. Let's have a look at what the pros and cons are. So number one, it's very cost effective. Literally, we're talking about a nominal amount of wiring and fitting. It's just really a lock and a reader and an exit button. That's all it really is. It's very, very, very easy to install, and also it's very, very scalable. So there's nothing to stop us from installing one door today, another door tomorrow, another door the next day. And also we've got the ability to use a number of different credentials. So therefore we could have biometrics, we could have proximity readers, we could have swipe cards, whatever you wish or whatever your customer wishes. The downside is these are standalone systems, so they're very, very hard, if not impossible, to monitor on a real-time basis. And that gives us a lack of control and a lack of personalisation. Maintenance can be very, very intensive because you've literally got to go to the door to maintain it. And to add new users and to alter individual user rights, again, that's all got to be done at the door, at the reader. And it's not as secure as a networked system. So therefore, let's have a look at a network system. So over there on the right, you can see a very, very similar picture to what was on the previous slide, a single door with a reader and an exit button. This time we've got a little box above the door, which is a controller, and that controller potentially could talk to an Ethernet network. And that Ethernet network could be your Ethernet network, your existing data LAN, or it could be a specific LAN that has been installed specifically for the access control. And then the amazing thing is we can scale that and add n number of doors onto that system. And more so because we're talking about IP, it's obvious we can connect out to the internet as long as we've got the WAN connections. So now we've gone from a single door on a single site, maybe connected to several other sites that could be in opposing parts of the world, all run on the same system. That's the beauty of IP. It's centrally controlled, so therefore we can add and remove users from the database once, and that removes them from all sites. It's highly scalable, so we can add another site as and when we need to. Management reporting is also very, very easy because literally we're talking about many systems actually appearing as one system. We've also got the ability to be able to create permissions on a very, very flexible, even ad hoc basis. So let's imagine someone that works in the Liverpool branch needs to go and work in the Edinburgh branch just for one day. We can very easily add that access privilege to their existing fob or card, so that when they turn up at the Edinburgh branch, they can let themselves in, maybe even out of hours. This could be a support worker going maybe to the comms room. The other benefit is that we can actually tailor exactly where they've got access to. So we could give them only privileges to go through the main door, into the lift, to the 4th floor, to the comms room, let themselves in, open the cabinet with that particular switch in it, and that's it. So we've got the ability to drill down and customize exactly that person's privileges. And these would be bespoke rules. We could give them access on specific days of the week, specific times of the day, between certain hours. So we have the ability to make it as tight or as loose as we want. And as I say, it can run on your existing infrastructure. So those expensive lease lines that you've got installed, you can carry on using those for this system as well. This really is ideal for larger sites and lots of users. Imagine a campus, a university campus, but not only one university campus. Imagine several university campuses all connected up over the internet from various different places in the world. And some systems, especially the SECNOR system, can be managed remotely. So now let's take a quick look at the main components that would go into a PC-based access control system. So we start off with a reader. Now this could be a prox-based reader, it could be a fob, it could be biometrics, and typically this will sit on the outside, but not always, on kind of what we call the unsafe part. Then you end up with an access control unit, or some people call them door controllers. And it's not uncommon to find these very, very close to the door that they're actually controlling. And also it's not uncommon to find the power supply for the door inside the access control unit. Also an electronic lock of some kind. It could be a mag lock like this one, or it could be a strike, but it's powered from this ACU. So it's important to remember, if the ACU loses power and it's a mag lock, the mag lock will default to being unlocked. So it might be a good idea to put a battery backup in there. Also an exit button, so if you're on the inside of the building and you want to go outside, you'll need some way of unlocking the door, and very often that's a button, which in the example here is actually a zero touch button, so not spreading germs, but it could be a physical button that you press and it unlocks the door momentarily to let you out. In addition to that, you may also find a glass break, or even just an emergency override button that when it is pressed, it cuts the power to the door and makes sure that the door is permanently unlocked for safe emergency egress. Also, additionally, we will need some sort of software to program up the system to tell it who's allowed in and what time and what days and all that kind of good stuff. And also some sort of reader on the enrolment desk to add new users to the system. So a PC-based USB enrolment reader is perfect for that. And last but not least, some sort of credential, which could be a card, or it could be a fob, something to present to the door to gain access. Okay, let's take a look at some access control readers. So first up, we've got a barcode reader or magnetic swipe reader. Very similar to the kind of thing that you would use in a shop if you were paying for your groceries. It reads the magnetic strip on the back of a card. Probably the cheapest way to go, but also maybe the least secure. Next up, we've got a Prox card. I'm sure these are the ones that everybody is already familiar with. So you present a plastic card or even a fob to the reader and it reads the information and lets you in. Again, very, very cost effective and probably a little bit more secure than a mag swipe as well. Next up is a smart card. Again, roughly the same price as a Prox card reader and roughly about as secure, so a good option. Going forwards, we look at a combination reader. So the combination of maybe a Prox reader and also a PIN pad. So let me just give you an example of where this is really good. Imagine you drop your Prox card in the car park on the way into the office. Someone could pick up that Prox card and they could go to the door and present it exactly the same as you would. The access control system would believe that it is you and therefore it would open the door. Hence, we've got a problem. However, let's say for instance we also set up a PIN number as a second line of defence, so that when you go to the door, you present your Prox card, you type in your PIN number and then the door opens. There's no way that anybody that finds that card in the street will be able to gain access to the building. So this costs a little bit more money, but it's also quite a lot more secure. Next up, we've got the biometric readers. So these are current technology, these are state of the art, and these are readers that either look at fingerprints or facial recognition. They're quite a bit more expensive, but they are very, very secure. And then if you couple that with a combination of maybe a PIN pad and facial recognition and fingerprint recognition and Prox, straight away you've got a very, very secure building. All of these readers as well adhere to the vegan standard WG26 format as well. And what that basically means is any access control door controller that supports that standard, these readers will work with them. Okay, so let's take a look at the access control unit or the door controller. Now, these typically are a box of electronics. They sit normally quite close to the door that they are controlling. And these devices can control maybe one door, sometimes two doors, sometimes even four doors. So it's not uncommon to find these boxes with an Ethernet cable, 10/100 megabits per second Ethernet cable going into them, and then 4 cables coming off them to the individual doors that they control. It's also very, very common to find the power supply unit built into these boxes as well. And additionally, it's advised that these have battery backups. Now, one of the important things about the battery backup is, especially if you're using mag locks. Come to that in a second. So the power supply unit is typically 12 volts DC, and it's available in different sizes to cater for different locking mechanisms, different power requirements and whatever. As I say, battery backup, we'll come to that in a second. Now, one of the important things is the fact that if the power gets cut to this, we can actually decide whether it fails open or secure. So what does that mean? Let's come on to the locking mechanism and I'll explain. So let's look at magnetic locks, okay? So, or mag locks as some people call them. Now, these are the metal device that sometimes you'll have seen at the top of a door. And literally, these are nothing more than an electromagnet. And when we apply electricity to a particular type of metal, it makes it magnetic. And that's what's keeping the door closed. When we present our fob to the reader, that tells the system to let the door open, and literally what it does is cut the electricity to the magnet, hence the reason why we can open the door. However, we need to be aware that if we lose the electricity, then if we don't have a battery backup, then therefore the door will default to fail open, okay, as opposed to fail closed. So it's the state that the door is left in when the system effectively fails or power fails. So anyway, coming back onto mag locks, these are available in different sizes depending on the strength of the magnet. So the amount of force that has got to be applied to the door before literally you can open it by force. You can get IP rated versions of these, so you can actually put them outside in the rain. And there's various different mounting bracketry as well to secure them onto the door. Now, these are probably the most common way of securing a door. However, there's also a strike or an electric door lock. And again, with these, you have actually got the ability to program the latch itself to fail safe or open. So irrelevant of whether you've got a battery, you can program these so that if there's a power fail, then they will stay locked, okay? You can mount them in various different ways. You can have them either a surface mount, or you can have them actually chiseled into the door frame itself as a mortise. And literally there's lots of different varieties available to suit your particular door application. So on the inside of the building, on the safe side of the door, what we need is a button to press to actually get out of the building. We call this an RTE, or request to exit button. And typically we press this button and the door opens. However, there is also an option to have a touchless button. So literally we just wave our hand in front of it and the door opens. Obviously a great idea for reducing the spread of any contamination. Additionally, we may also see a glass break or an emergency door release. And with this, we have the ability to maybe smash the glass or just press the button. And what it does is it cuts the circuit to the door. So therefore, as opposed to a button being kind of momentary where it opens the door and then it latches again, with opening the door with this method, the door will actually stay unlocked. Okay, so earlier on we looked at the comparison of a standalone door versus a networked door. So let's just talk through this diagram and understand how easy it is to scale from one door to 100 doors. So just building up this picture here, for instance, we've got a network switch with a PC attached to it. This is all IP, this is all Ethernet. And then we've got a door controller. Well, actually we've got two door controllers, but let's just focus on one at the moment. From that door controller, we've got two doors, and both of those doors have got mag locks on them. So they're connected into the door controller. Also, we've got card readers on the outside of the door, and we've also got maybe card readers on the inside of the door, and also break glass. So you may be thinking, well, why would you want a card reader on the inside of the door? Well, again, it's quite good to be able to have your employees swiping in and swiping out. That way you can actually keep a track of who's on site at any one time from a health and safety and a fire point of view. Also, in addition to that, as we talked about earlier, we can use this as a time and attendance system. So therefore, encouraging your employees to swipe in and swipe out means that you can actually keep a track on the hours that they're working. In addition to that, it's important to note that all we do is replicate that by the number of doors that we need to cover. So therefore, the two access controllers are joined together through the network switch using the network topology. Okay, so that's covered the basic principles of access control. So let's dive in and take a closer look at the SECNOR range. So we cover all of what we've just discussed, including standalone access control, PC-based door control panels, proximity readers, keypads, biometrics, which includes fingerprint and facial recognition, time and attendance units, the software, the mag locks, the exit buttons, the break glass, the prox cards. So we cover it all from start to finish as a total solution. Okay, let's just take a quick look at the SECNOR PC-based door controller. This is the 7000 series, and this can do single or multi-doors. So the 7001 is a one-door controller. However, it has got the ability to have two readers. So therefore, unusually, you can have a reader in and a reader out. The two-door controller can have four readers, and the four-door controller can also have four readers. All of this on industry standard 10/100 megabits per second Ethernet. So this can use your existing LAN. It can handle up to 20,000 users and an unlimited amount of doors. Again, vegan 26 input, so all of the readers that we've looked at already will interface with this control panel. If for whatever reason the control panel goes offline, maybe due to a power cut or whatever, the control panel will actually store up to 100,000 events. And then when it comes back online, it will actually buffer those events. We've got the ability, as I said, to have an optional battery backup, and the software that we use to talk to this is an enterprise level software at no extra cost. In terms of the prox readers that we sell, we have different types, and here we can see the 8001 and the 8008, and both of these are internally or externally rated. The 8001 is an ABS shell and it's vandal resistant, whereas the 8008 is a metal case, and again, that's also vandal resistant. Again, vegan 26 output, so this can actually talk quite happily to the 7000 series controller. Going up the scale a little bit, we've got the prox reader with the pin pad. So as I said, we've got that ability to doubly secure the building. This is the NAC 5002 SA, and we've got the ability to do security with prox and pin. We've also got a doorbell function as well, which is really interesting. Vegan 26 compliant, and in standalone mode, the ability to do up to 1000 users. Looking at some of the biometric readers now, so this is the NAC 5001 SA and also the 5004 SA, the difference being the actual case, and these are fingerprint readers. Again, vegan 26 output, so they'll interface nicely with the 7000 control panel, and up to 200 fingerprints and 500 cards or fobs if this is actually used in standalone mode. My favourite actually, this is the keypad with the prox sensor and the biometric fingerprint reader. This is the NAC 5003 SA. It's a metal backlit keypad. It's externally rated and it's got a fingerprint reader built into it. It's also vandal resistant, and basically this will support a combination of proximity, PIN code and biometrics. This is really getting towards enterprise high level security grade. Vegan 26 output, and in standalone mode this will do up to 10,000 users. In terms of vandal resistant prox readers, then we've also got this model. This is the 5008 WA. It's a metal case, vandal resistant, IP66 rated, and this supports pulse mode and also toggle mode. It's got also integrated tamper, so this is a very, very safe product, and this will support up to 2,000 users. Now we come on to the combination biometric facial recognition, fingerprint, prox, keypad PIN access control. These really are the kind of things that you would want protecting your ultra secure server farm or your vault, that kind of thing. So you can look at tying these down to a combination of biometric facial recognition, fingerprint recognition, PIN code, prox reader. So yeah, these are about as good as it gets really. These are Vegan 26, so these will integrate with the 7000 series, and these can be standalone or networked. Okay, so this is a really interesting product. This is more time and attendance. So yeah, log in when employees get to work and what time they go home. So literally all they do to log in, they hold their finger on the screen. It then registers who they are, it knows who they are, and it logs against who they are, the time that they arrived. You can program this up and it understands all about multi-shift working and holidays and things like that. It's got built-in battery backup, and to download the information it's as simple as a USB pen drive. So yeah, brilliant, ideal for building sites. This is absolutely perfect, health and safety. So an enterprise level access control system requires enterprise level software, and that is exactly what you get from the SECNOR system, free of charge. So you are able to manage an unlimited amount of doors, up to 20,000 users. It also alerts and alarms if maybe a door is held open, i.e. put the fire extinguisher there. Maybe if a door is opened under duress, if someone types in a specific PIN number to gain access to the building, then if that is the PIN number that is identified as the duress PIN, then again it can alert security. Also, if a door is opened under force, i.e. someone's forced it open rather than opening it through the access control system. Integration with fire alarms, elevator control and lockers are all things that the system can do with the additional expansion board. Interlock is a feature that is asked for very, very often. This basically creates an airlock situation where two doors let people into a secure holding area where both doors cannot be opened simultaneously. Anti-passback. This basically describes where someone lets themselves into the building and then gives their card to someone that is outside to let them in. The system knows that that's impossible because the person is already in the building. So therefore, number one, it will stop the person from being allowed into the building, and number two, it will flag up an alert to the system to investigate further. Anti-tailgating, the ability to stop people from letting friends in or other colleagues in actual fact. This particularly works well with turnstiles. Panic lock facility, electronic sitemap, first card unlock, time and attendance, remote admin and access are all features that you would expect from this level of software, and the SECNOR software absolutely does not disappoint. So anyway, we're coming towards the end of the webinar, so thank you very much for sticking with us so far. I just need to tell you that we are carrying on with the seminar session. This is only the start, and we will start to delve into the software and also the workings a little bit deeper. So please keep an eye on our website. We have already got your details logged, so we will be letting you know when the next webinar is coming up. Also, I need to tell you about the Certified Installation Partner Programme. Obviously, SECNOR is a serious access control system, and therefore we need to make sure that it is installed properly, and therefore we need to help you install it properly. So we will offer you design assistance, we will offer you project support, we will offer you branded literature to give out to your potential customers. We will talk to you about discounts on demo products, and also we will feature your details on the SECNOR website so that end users and consultants can find the accredited partners. So again, talk to us about that and we'll tell you what's required. Also, last thing, and this is breaking news, CMW has recently taken on a facility in Farnborough in Hampshire, and this facility, not only being a stocking facility, will also have demo abilities. So please give us a shout and maybe we can meet you down there and introduce you to the products personally. So that brings us to the end of this webinar, and it just really relies on me to say thank you very, very much for sticking with us, and thank you very, very much for your interest in the SECNOR product. And obviously any questions that you have got, then please feel free to direct them to either Emma or to myself, and we will do our best to make sure that the questions are answered. But anyway, for now, thank you, and I look forward to speaking to you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.